Hello and welcome to Tech Shahk, a brand new tech channel that I bring to you based here in Dubai. Some of you may already know me from my vlogging channel and my vlogs and stuff, but yeah, I bring to you this brand new tech channel that I've been planning to launch for a very long time, and it is finally here. Now before we get into the video, please do subscribe to the channel for future uploads, and I will be hopefully bringing you loads of tech related videos very soon. This is my first video, so we've got to start somewhere. Also be sure to follow all the socials, especially Twitter, where I can hopefully interact with you guys and also take requests and that kind of thing. Now what better way to start off this channel with a video about Apple. One of the biggest events of the year was the Apple event, which literally ended like 10 minutes ago. So right now in Dubai it is approaching 11 o'clock, it's probably around 11 o'clock, so it finished quite late for us here, and Apple have just unveiled quite a few things, so I thought I'd bring you guys a summary, basically give you everything in a nutshell very briefly about what they spoke about. Now for those of you that do know me prior to this channel, you'll know that I'm a huge Apple fanboy. I can't even lie about it. I'm a huge fan of Apple, and they announced quite a few things. One major product which everyone was anticipating. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So the event itself was held in the Steve Jobs Theatre, which is very fitting because the man himself announced the first iPhone 10 years ago. It was a very nice salute and memory to him at the very beginning of the event, which I think was a very nice way to start it off. Now Apple started off obviously with their usual stuff, talking about their stores and that kind of thing. However, we're going to go straight into the products, which the first one started off with the watch. Now early in the year, Apple did announce that they're going to have a new watch OS coming out. So they did start off by talking about the OS. So they've got some improvements to make to some of the apps, especially to do with the heart rate. They've obviously got a massive focus on fitness and that kind of thing, but they did announce a new watch itself, which some people may not have been happy about because they had just purchased the version 2 and they knew what was coming, cellular. So basically the emphasis here is all about the watch now being cellular, meaning you don't actually have to have a phone to make phone calls and stuff. So you can actually make phone calls straight from the watch itself. You can use Siri. You can now stream up to like 40 million songs, which is what they were saying. So there's loads of more capabilities. In truth, the design hasn't changed that much. It's pretty much the cellular aspect which stole the show in terms of the watch. There wasn't that much more to be changed, although the OS, which is where they're advertising a lot of their changes. But yeah, in a nutshell, pretty much the cellular data was this key selling point here. However, you can get it without cellular, and for select countries like the UAE, we don't even get cellular. We're only going to be getting the normal Wi-Fi ones. So yeah. So next up, Apple spoke about the Apple TV, and in recent months it's very obvious that they've got a strong emphasis on this. They really want to get into some sort of TV market, the streaming market, that kind of thing, or they just want to basically replace your home entertainment console. So this could be a PlayStation or Xbox, because you can stream like Netflix and stuff on those too. But yeah, Apple here basically announced that they're going to have 4K. Now the way this was perceived was almost like it was the first time 4K had been announced, because of how much emphasis was put on it. So what they're basically saying is they've been working with some companies to try and bring more titles to 4K, obviously, which is good. If you've got a 4K TV, you can take advantage of that, stream loads of films, that kind of thing. And they were trying to show off the 4K HDR that they were talking about, which is essentially meant to have better colors and more detail, in a nutshell. Now they did say if you've bought a HD film before from iTunes and stuff, and it's now available in 4K, you'll get that at no added cost, which is quite good. The regular streaming services like Netflix and stuff will still be there, which will now also bring 4K titles to the service, which is very good. Now this is very interesting for me, live sports. They only showed a couple of sports, I think it was mainly basketball and stuff, but this has the potential to be quite big, although I'm a massive football fan, football as in soccer. So Premier League, that kind of thing, if that ends up going to this kind of service, I can see that going huge. They showed off some features like you can have a quick glance at like 2 different games going on, like there'll be like small little thumbnails, and it'll even show you in the corner what the score is, so you can literally pick, okay, which game looks more exciting, which is really cool. That is a really cool feature, so I can see a lot of people getting into this. But yeah, like I said, bring me Premier League and I'll get into it. Now this is what everyone was waiting for. They announced the next iPhone. Now, first of all, a lot of rumors and myths were like thrown out the window. Basically, a lot of people thought that the next phone models would be 7S, 7S Plus, and then the iPhone 8. Wrong. It was the iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus. Now, as soon as they showed the little intro video, like the ad they have, I wasn't impressed. Obviously, that's explained later, because it basically looked the exact same as the current iPhone 7. Like literally, it didn't look any different at all. Now in truth, there isn't that much different. The main difference here, it's all glass, especially the back, which is significant because as soon as they mentioned that, you knew what was coming. Wireless charging. Now this is probably my favorite feature. This is the biggest feature for me. wireless charging was a must. I mean, Samsung already had it. It's a very, very useful feature, and they finally got it on the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. However, from what they said, you don't get a charging pad with it. It's running on the Qi service, I believe that's what it's called, if that's how it's pronounced. Now, the really cool thing I think here is, because they're already using established technology, they want to implement it in public places. Like, they had a list of companies up, like even McDonald's and stuff. So obviously, if you're running low on battery, put on a charging pad, and then obviously you're good to go. So that kind of aspect is really cool. Again, a lot of people would argue, and I have to be honest here, I think a lot of Apple people are very excited by this, although it was already available on, like I said, on Samsung phones. But yeah, I mean, it's a step in the right direction. It was needed. Now, whilst Apple don't give you a charging pad with the iPhone 8, they actually did tease a product that they're launching next year, 2018, which is called AirPower, which is basically their version of a charging pad or mat. It won't just charge your iPhone, it'll also charge your Apple Watch, and it also charges AirPods. And how that works is they're now selling separate AirPod cases which will basically wireless charge with this pad. I'm actually really excited for this product because, especially for those who use an iPhone and an Apple Watch, just think about it. Leave it overnight. You have to normally charge your watch overnight anyways. Just put them all on one place and it's just makes life easier. But yeah, if you've got AirPods, then you can also buy the case. So they also showed off this new display that they're calling the True Tone display, which is meant to be just a nice retina display. It's not much different. Obviously, this is all speculation until you get it in your hands and you physically have to compare, which hopefully we'll maybe be able to do later on. But yeah, I mean, to the naked eye, it looks like the same phone. Now, the main feature on iPhones is normally always the camera. Everyone uses the iPhone camera. The iPhone camera is absolutely insane. Honestly, I use it so much, whether it's for Snapchat, Instagram, whatever it is, selfies. It's very, very good. So the new thing here they were talking about was this feature called portrait lighting, basically, which is in beta at the moment. When it focuses on the object or the subject, like a person, it will then separate them from the background, and you can actually add like dramatic, almost dramatic, like studio lighting and change it on the person, like the shadowing, the lighting, that kind of thing, which when they demoed it looks really impressive. And like portrait mode itself, when portrait mode first came out, a lot of people got into it, and a lot of people thought it was a gimmick until they started using it, and I think it was very, very popular. In the same way, I feel like this feature will be popular as well. Other than the camera, the only other main thing they had going for them, which they mentioned in the previous event, I believe, was augmented reality, so AR, which was what they were talking about again. And I think this was a very good way to start talking about later on what they showed in the event. Basically, it's just like in the last event, they spoke about how they want augmented reality to become more common on the iPhone. Apps like Pokemon Go and stuff sort of changed the game, where they sort of forced everyone to go outside physically, you know, having to go to areas to find Pokemon in that game. So Apple want to bring it to obviously more apps and different capabilities. So the examples they always gave were these really cool games where you can obviously start playing the game on a table with your friend, literally like on your table, and you have to move around, change angles, that kind of thing. It's really cool. Don't get me wrong, it's really cool. At this moment in time, I believe a lot of people will think it's a gimmick. A lot of people will think it's a gimmick, but I think later on a lot of people will get hooked. It's literally like Pokemon Go. Everyone thought at first, like, I'm not going to go outside. They did. Now, at this point in time, everyone was sort of on Twitter and stuff, everyone was sort of 50-50, because I did believe there was one more product left. I didn't believe they were going to just leave it on this, and that's exactly what they did. And they moved on to the iPhone 10. So it's iPhone X, but X, Roman numerals 10. So this is basically the phone to commemorate 10 years, and apparently a leap forward into technology that they're saying they can keep going for the next 10 years, so the next decade. So first of all, a Super Retina display. So it's edge to edge. It's not quite like the Samsung S8 display where it's sort of flowing across the edge. It's not like that. It literally goes edge to edge, like as much as it can. And then there's also like a little black strip at the top, which was in a lot of leaks. Now, the leaks were reliable. The leaked iPhone models that you would have seen all over YouTube and social media, they were reliable, right down to the camera bar. So this display is also OLED, and I think it's 5.8 inches, which is a very, very big display for an iPhone, and it does look insane. On the demo and stuff, it looked very vibrant, very colorful. It does look like a good display. Also, you'll notice that in the display, there's no longer room for a home button, so it's pretty much all a display. So as you'll see, the little black strip at the top is where the true depth camera is, which is what they use for facial recognition, which is the new form of unlocking the phone, because there's no longer a home button and there's no longer a fingerprint scanner. Now, Face ID is what they're calling it, and that is pretty much what stole the show in the end, because it comes with so much. Like, the technology behind it was used in so many aspects of the phone. So first of all, it scans your face basically, and from what they were saying, there's over 30,000 dots, like invisible dots that will shoot at your face apparently, and they will scan your face, and whether you change, your face changes over time, you grow a beard, that kind of thing, it won't make a difference. It will still recognize you, and from the statistics they were giving, it's more secure than having a fingerprint scanner, because the chances of someone unlocking your phone that isn't you with a fingerprint scanner, from what Apple was saying, is 1 in 50,000. And this is now 1 in a million, I believe. So the aim here is basically to make the facial recognition as secure and as accurate as possible. For a lot of you guys that use Snapchat, obviously the Snapchat filters, they're very good, don't get me wrong, but they're not exactly pinpoint accurate. Now, obviously with this technology in the iPhone 10, it will help with Snapchat filters, which is actually something demonstrated on stage. But now, this has a lot of implications because you can no longer use Apple Pay with a fingerprint scanner. That was my first, my first reaction, because I liked the ability to be able to just put my finger and pay, but now you sort of have to glance at your phone and do it. I suppose maybe you'll get used to it, just like I got used to using my finger. So I think this is the feature that most people will be talking about, and this is where I want to know what you guys think, because I don't know what you guys think of facial recognition. Do you like it, or do you find it a bit creepy, which is what a lot of people's reaction was. But I suppose they're trying to sort of make a step towards the future, or it could just be a 1-year delay or 2-year delay, whatever it is, until they can work out the technology to have no buttons but the fingerprint scanner across the whole display, which is what they were rumored to apparently be looking into, but obviously the technology isn't there just yet. With the new cameras on the front of the iPhone, you can even take portrait mode selfies, and the selfie game has just gone to a whole new level. So all you need to know is both cameras have improved and they're both very good. Now, one of the coolest features they displayed was animated emojis, which they're calling animojis. So basically, you can now use your face on an emoji. I think you can only pick from 12 at the moment, and basically say what you want, like using one of the cat emojis, the fox emoji, whatever you want to do, and send messages to your friends, and it'll replicate your mouth movements and I think 50 muscle movements in your face. Now, this is more of a fun feature, and I can see a lot of people using it when it first comes out, but you're gonna have to wait until the phone comes out to see if it's a gimmick or not, because the technology is there to do so much more as well. And that was the joke they were making, like, we've gone so far and people are now using the poo emoji to send messages to their friends. Now, I know this may seem really short, but I'm pretty much giving you guys a very, very brief summary of the main points in a nutshell for you guys to basically take from this, so that you know what the main things to look for are. But overall, I mean, it was a decent event, it was a very decent launch, and I think the main problem a lot of people will have is the pricing, because the iPhone 10 is priced at $999 starting price, and I think that's a 64GB model, which for that much you can buy a laptop these days. So yeah, the pricing was a really big factor. So basically $1,000 is the starting price, and if you want to convert that to dirhams for people here in the UAE, that's about, I think it's 4,000 dirhams. Wait, yep, it's 4,099 dirhams. So yeah, guys, that's basically a summary of everything that was shown. I believe Watch and the Watch OS will be out later this month. The new iPhone 8 and 8 Plus are out next month. Oh, this is all October. But the iPhone 10 won't be available until the 3rd of November, but I think pre-orders start next month, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, it's a bit of a wait, which is good, because I think people can sort of make their judgment whether it's the phone for them, especially because it's such a sizable investment now. And yeah, we'll see if I end up getting one. I currently have the iPhone 7 Plus, and it's way too similar to the 8 Plus. Literally the only difference for me is the wireless charging, which will make an actual difference to me. So the iPhone 10 is very interesting, but we shall see. Hopefully we can get it on the channel. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Show some support, drop a like, subscribe to the channel for future tech videos. Also, do let me know, send me any requests you have of any tech products you want me to look at, wherever it may be. Drop it in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the Apple launch in the comments as well. But yeah, make sure you follow all my socials, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.